Go ahead.
I'll say this real quick. So I said some of the downsides of playing solid game. Let me say some of the upsides of fast escalation. So, as Markus has pointed out, I think that women are much more sexual than some men may think. And if they don't ever attempt to escalate things somewhat quickly, they may not discover that there are quite a few women out there that are open to things escalating quickly. Again, assuming that it's calibrated and so forth. So that's a huge upside of fast escalation, right? Um, if you want to develop your game to the fullest ability, then you're going to want to be multidimensional. You're going to want to be able to go fast if the opportunity presents itself. You're going to want to be able to slow things down if the opportunity presents itself, right? And I do think that fast escalation is an advanced skill. I kind of called it an intermediate / advanced skill. That was just me being a little bit, sarcastic. I do believe it's an advanced skill. I believe that most guys cannot go out with any kind of proficiency and compel women to hook up regularly and quickly. So it is an advanced skill. There are definitely a bunch of positives to fast escalation. So I wanted to just throw that out there. And I want to say one more thing too, Markus. I never met you before. I was planning on coming into this debate and being very cordial. But in the back of my mind, I said, if somebody starts kind of escalating the debate on me, I'm going to fight fire with fire. I personally think you started subtly escalating on me, and then I came back a little stronger. I don't know you, but I do respect you for jumping on here and speaking your truth. So if things got a little bit heated, it was all for the viewer. I want the person watching this to get value out of it, and I wanted to make sure that my voice came across. So yeah, anyway, I just want to throw that out there. So
that's cool. Should we do like a closing statement?
Yeah. Any closing statements you guys want to make?
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, Erik, it's listen, fast escalation, okay? It's the game we play. No, I think it was fine. Yeah, the bad faith comments, I don't know. I feel like I represented your point of view fairly clearly. But if not, you can feel free to let me know. Overall, I think this is a matter of where your ability sits. Do you have the ability to build enough attraction, sexual tension, and deal with objections to have sex with a girl quickly? Yes or no? And if you don't, there's probably skills you need to develop. And if you do, I think we've admitted that it's beneficial to do so. If we could wave a magic wand and have sex within 3 hours, we'd all be doing it because it changes the chasing dynamic. It has the girls into you a lot more. It increases retention. And sex is an amazing, fun opportunity to have with a girl where she can be a little bit more vulnerable. In not doing so, as mentioned earlier, you can kind of sit in the friend zone. You can have a perception where this girl's like, fuck, this guy just can't make a move. He's not a leader. He's not a man. You do have situations where girls they fit the frame that you set for them. So if you just sit around and wait a long time, then the girls are going to think like, fuck, this guy wants a relationship, or he judges girls that have sex quickly. So I'm just going to like sit with what he's doing. If he's not going to escalate quickly, then neither will I. And then you're just left in a situation where you have girls that have objections or don't want to have sex on the first night because they think it's some like silly rule. And instead of working with the girl to overcome that, you just wait. And so yeah, I think like if that's all you've experienced and that's all you know, then you probably do come up with an arbitrary rule like girls do. I won't have sex on the first night. Came up with the same arbitrary rule. I have to kind of wait 7 hours. But as you can see by a lot of students in the chat, as you can see by Michael and Ross and myself and Alex that was going to join, is that if you have the skills to do so, you can have sex early with great retention without any remorse. And that should be the goal. And if you don't know how to do it, you should learn.
Alrighty, Michael?
Oh yeah, my microphone is on. Okay, so my take on this debate was actually to see two sides of it, the solid game versus the fast escalation. I do believe that when it comes to attraction, we have to, trigger women's attractional elements in her brain in order to make her feel attraction, to make her to be in that state. Whatever that takes it, whether it is a fast escalation sexually, if that is what you want, go ahead and do it. If it shows that she's feel a lot of attraction in that moment with you, but she's not ready to be very sexual fast, then you slow it down. I think that both sides, solid game versus fast escalation game, made good points in this. I think that it depends on the women. I cannot say that there is, one rule for all. I don't think there is any direct data of how that is for the general public. Then would know skill game that it would take 2 hours or 7 hours or even 10 hours to actually escalate maximally. I do also believe that when it comes to women, they're also very different in terms of their sexual status in the society. Women with a lot of male attention works differently than women that don't have so much male attention. That is also a factor. So pure scientifically, it's very hard to come with the right number here. It's just a qualified guess we're doing. But all in all, I think that if you want to really, really be good at fast escalation game and game in general, you really have to learn the fundamental areas of what creates attraction in females' brains. So that's all I wanted to say.
Alrighty, Erik.
Yeah, so I'm going to sound like a little bit of a broken record here, but I want guys to really let this sink in. Regardless of skill level, most women are not open to fast escalation most of the time. Therefore, most of the time, we should not be going in and trying to sexualize fast if we want to have the greatest number of options. If we want to disregard that, we can go ahead and refine our approach and take a faster approach. But most women just aren't open to hooking up fast most of the time, regardless of the guy's skill. When she does hook up quickly, I don't judge her, but I just think it has less to do with the guy's skill, more to do with her will, the idea that we are going to deconstruct all of her social conditioning and compel her to do things that she never thought she would do. That happens some of the time. Most of the time, the woman is rolling with the punches because she's in cahoots with us. She's down to hook up quickly also. And I see nothing wrong with that. And if it's done properly, you can do it without getting buyer's remorse. I'm not saying you always get buyer's remorse from hooking up quickly. It's just, generally speaking, a better way to go. And I'm going to say one thing as well. On top of that, as you get a little bit more experience under your belt, you start to realize that sex isn't as big of a deal as you used to think it was. Once you've had a sufficient amount of it, you learn to appreciate the game. You learn to appreciate the chase. You learn to appreciate the buildup. You like when that window opens nice and slow and you let it linger open for a little bit, and then you smoothly pass through and mutually escalate with the woman. That's solid game. Shout out to my sensei Mystery, my wingman, my business partner, my sensei Mystery. I hope I did you well.
Quick question for you, Erik, from someone in the chat earlier. You mentioned you're coming out with a book. This guy wants to know the name of the book.
It's The Vortex of Love, and this is the first time that I've ever shared the title of my book. It's going to be ready in January or February 2025. It's called The Vortex of Love, and it is the most advanced system that I've ever seen in our space. It's not just a system, it's a super system.